Um, but if you don't mind, I just want to go off a little bit more on sleep and why it's so critical for
Yeah,
brain health. Is that okay
that was
with
gonna.
you?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, but no problem.
No, no, it's great. So I
Yeah.
think probably you and maybe many of your listeners have heard of the lymphatic system in the body, right? So it drains excess lymph from different parts of the body so that we don't, swell up and get all puffy and have that stuff. It drains, toxins from the body.
Hmm.
Several years ago, scientists discovered that there's this really kind of cool system in the brain called the glymphatic system, but it only works when you're asleep. So it's not working when you're awake. But if you sleep, it acts like a power washer, like when you're power washing your house. The glymphatic system literally power washes your brain. So it gets rid of all the sort of toxins and free radicals that may have built up during the day. It keeps your brain healthy. If you cheat yourself on sleep, or if you're chronically in a sleep deficit because you think sleeping 4 hours is a great idea, which it's not, you're going to put yourself at risk because your lymphatic system's only going to be working for 4 hours instead of an ideal 8.
Mm.
So that's another reason that it is, critically important to sleep and not just be unconscious for 8 hours, because there are people who are just, because I sleep for 8 hours, I wake up, I'm tired all the time. That's because they may be unconscious for 8 hours, but they're not sleeping efficiently. So there are some people who have sleep disorders. Pretty commonly, you've heard of, sleep apnea, where they may be unconscious, but they're like not sleeping well. They're waking up, they're tossing and turning, they're gasping for air. And it's really important to treat things like that because it has a tremendous impact on your heart health and your brain health. So it's not just a question of how long are you asleep, how effectively are you sleeping?
Got it. Okay, so you mentioned that working out is something that can really help your ability to sleep effectively, right?
Correct.
What else can
Yes.
people do if they want to really improve their sleep? Because no one really talk. Because people kind of like sometimes if you sleep less, it's kind of like a badge of honor, right? Like especially
Well,
like
see,
in the
that's what I
U.S.,
mean.
hard work, right?
It's a false
So
badge
it's like
of
yeah.
honor. It's like I
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I can only eat like 500 calories a day. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing yourself any good.
Mm-hmm.
All you're saying is that you know how to restrict yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
let me just get back to your question. So, what are things you can do to improve your sleep?
Yeah.
Don't eat big meals before you want to go to bed. Try to finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before you want to go to sleep to give your body a chance to digest, because the whole process of digestion is calorie intensive. And if you eat a whole amount before you go to bed, your body's working overtime, so it's not going to quiet down and go to sleep like you want it to. My
Mm-hmm.
big thing now is stay off the screen. No phone, no iPad, no computer, at least 60 minutes before you want to go to sleep. Why? Because looking at those screens actually lights up that part of the prefrontal cortex, which I talked about earlier, the big area behind your forehead, the executive functioning area. And you want that to slow down and calm down at least 60 minutes before you want to go to sleep. If you're looking at your phone and then you think you're going to close your eyes and go to sleep, for most people, that's not going to happen. Now, let's say people say, well, I like to read before I go to bed. Okay, great. Well, I like to read on my Kindle. Also great. Just put it on low light, because
Okay.
light tells your brain that it's daytime. Light gives your
Uh-huh.
brain the
So it
signal
wakes
that
you
it's
up.
daytime. People, for example, who even use, light boxes during the winter to improve their mood, that's
Yeah.
great. But I tell them use it in the morning, because if you use it too late in the day, your brain interprets that as, oh, it's daytime. We don't need to go to sleep.
Okay.
So stay off the screen. Try not to eat big meals too late. Limit the amount of alcohol you drink. People think, oh, a nightcap. Well, fine, that's really a misnomer. It'll knock you out, but you won't sleep well, because it will decrease your ability to get into the stage of sleep called deep sleep. So,
Okay.
people like to have a glass of wine with dinner. Fine, no problem. But limit the amount of alcohol you're drinking. Um, some people take allergy medications. I recommend that you don't take one with a decongestant late in the day, because decongestants can act like amphetamines and keep your brain awake. Limit the amount of caffeine that you drink later in the afternoon because caffeine is going to work to keep you awake rather than help you calm down. Maintaining a healthy sleep schedule. So it's sometimes it's just hard to stay on a sleep schedule, meaning you go to bed at the same time, you wake up at the same time, even on the weekends. Well, people want to sleep in on the weekends and on vacation. Totally get it. But the
Yeah.
more that you can train your brain to go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time, you're going to develop a more regular, what's called circadian rhythm, which is a 24-hour rhythm that your brain maintains. Um, don't exercise late in the day because, again, that stimulates your metabolism, and that's great. But we don't want your metabolism to be stimulated when you're trying to calm down to go to sleep. So think of your brain as a big computer. And just like you wouldn't just shut your computer off, you would shut it down in stages. You want to shut your brain down in stages, which is why I say 60 minutes, get off all the stuff that's going to stimulate your brain and let it start to cool down. So you can read, you can watch something on TV. Now I sound like I'm sort of contradicting what I just said
Yeah.
when I said no screens. No screens like blue light screens, like
Okay.
phone, iPad, computer. If you're watching TV and you're watching something that's not stimulating, that's fine.
How about if you wear like blue light glasses? Like, is that effective or no?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Uh huh. Yeah, because I mean that's something that I've heard, right? Because
Hmm.
like I, like I'm friends with people that are like in university and stuff like that. So like they tend to wear those glasses and stuff like that. But I've heard that it's not effective, but I've also heard that it is effective. So I don't really know what the
I
actual answer
honestly would
is.
have to do my own homework on that one because I don't know the answer to that right away.
Got it. Okay, cool. And what do you think of something like melatonin?
Fine.
Is okay.
Yeah, melatonin, so melatonin is a hormone that's naturally produced in a part of a gland in your head called the pineal gland.
Hmm.
And it's a natural substance, and many people find that taking melatonin at night helps them sleep. On some people, it can have a paradoxical effect. For example, like yours truly. I tried taking it when I was an intern, and I was awake all night. So some people have a paradoxical effect to it. Um,
Hmm.
so it's fine. If you tend to take higher doses of it, like some people take 10 milligrams, which I don't know how anyone could do that, but you're
Hmm.
taking the higher doses of it, you may find that you're more fatigued the next day and have more of a headache. So the lower doses tend to be better. And the other thing I would watch out for is sometimes melatonin is packaged, if you look at the ingredients on the back, it's sometimes packaged with a B vitamin called B6, which is known as, I think it's called pyridoxine. That can be very stimulating. So if you find that you're taking melatonin and it's not working, see if it's packaged with B6. And if it is, try to get one that's just melatonin. Like I know you can get like melatonin gummies or whatever's. But it's fine. I don't have any problem with that. It's not habit forming. It's a natural substance. I would say just don't use it, too high a dose because then you may suffer the side effects the next day.
Got it. Okay, and when it comes down to like sleep effectiveness, I mean,
Mhm.
is there any way to like know whether or not you actually slept properly or not?
Mhm.
Because like sometimes you can do all the right things, but you don't actually know like, okay, is it working or not, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you test it based on how you feel, or like how do you actually know?
Well, some it's real popular these days. So people wear these, Fitbits or their Apple Watches
Yeah,
or things like that, which allegedly, measure their sleep stages.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how accurate they are. I would say if you wake up every day and you feel refreshed, you're probably sleeping well. The only
Okay.
way to know for sure, I suppose, would be to get a sleep study, because that will measure your sleep
Yeah.
architecture.
Yeah.
But I think if you wake up in the morning and you generally feel refreshed and good to go, and you're not having any problems, thinking or memory, you're probably sleeping fine. And like I said, like some of those are gadgets are probably okay. I have one
Yeah.
patient who wears something called like an aura
Aura ring.
ring. I don't know
Yeah, that's
exactly
really
what that
popular.
does, but maybe again, I don't know how accurate these things are, but
Yeah.
that might be one way of taking a look at least seeing, how often are you waking up?
Okay. Yeah. So I guess like aside from The tech stuff, it's just, I just, if you feel like you're fully alert, I guess that's a good indicator that it went well, right? Now,
I would
is
say,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Now that's still okay, right? Like for example, if you sleep 6 hours and you feel sharp and alert, like is that actually okay, or is that like
It's
a?
probably
Mhm.
okay. I mean, according to the American Heart Association, they talk about 8 hours. I know
Yeah,
most
that's
of
the
the
common number.
neurological stuff, the data looks at 8 hours, but there are some people who literally they cannot be asleep for more than 6 hours and they function just fine. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to answer that. I mean, to force
Hmm.
someone to sleep more than they think they need, I'm not sure if that's particularly effective, but like I
Yeah.
said, if you look at the research, it almost always cites, at least somewhere within the 7 to 9 hour range.
Yeah, because like for me, like if I don't, do like any sort of like strength training,
Hmm.
it's hard for me to sleep past like 6.5 hours. But
How do
if
you
I
feel?
do
Yeah, but
strength
how do you feel?
training,
Yeah.
I feel good. Yeah, but if I do, like my strength training, then I have to get like 8 hours, right?
Okay.
Because 6 hours does not feel right. So like I was wondering, like, is that okay, or if there's like, because like people always say 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, but
Yeah.
like, some people can like sleep 6 hours and feel completely fine,
Hmm.
right? So I don't know if that's actually like just me feeling good, or if it's kind of like fooling me into just
I
believing
mean,
that
I
I'm
think
sleeping
if you
effectively.
feel good, that's probably fine.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
sleep expert. I would have to check with one of my colleagues who is an expert in sleep, but it's a question of, again, it's quality of
It's
life.
complicated.
It's
Complicated. Yeah.
quality of life. I mean, the data that's published and says 8 hours is based upon X amount of experimental subjects and how they end up doing. But if you, as an individual, feel okay sleeping 6 hours sometimes, that's probably fine. You're a young guy.
Hmm.
I mean, as long as you can do what you need to do
Yeah.
without any feeling like falling asleep at your microphone or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or you like you're falling on your weights when you're
On the
trying to
laptop. Yeah.
you don't want to have barbell falling on your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
probably okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.